my name's Harry.
My name is Harrison.
And today we're going to give you a quick run through on snowmobile safety, tips, tricks, and you know, just an all-round guide to snowmobiles.
Here we go.
So snowmobiles can be a lot of fun. They're also a tool for us guys, so please don't mess around too much on them. And just remember the speed limit within the village is 15 kilometers an hour, and out on the ski field where you can go to a max of 40. So make sure you stick to that, guys. All snowmobiles are fitted with a GPS, so if you exceed 40, admin will find out. Alright guys, so here we are at the Ratty Shed, or Vehicle Workshop as it's known. We're actually going to fuel the sled up, so you got your fuel tank just in the middle here. On our fleet, we've got the 1-2 stroke at the moment, but generally we don't have a 2-stroke, but I'll run through that anyway if you are filling up a 2-stroke. For me, what I like to do is loosen the cap, and I like to have it sitting on there. So because it's a nice day today, it really doesn't matter too much, but for example, say if it was snowing, I want to avoid getting snow in there. So I'll just sit it on there, and then that way when I come back it's ready to pull off and I can just chuck the nozzle straight in. So you're going to make sure the machine's off, obviously. You're going to grab the key.
There we go.
You're going to grab the key, which has this card on it. If the card's missing, let Mountain Office know, I'll let your manager know, because we need to have the card. Then you're going to run in here. Black strip, faces outwards. Don't be confused by this other strip, that's just some tape. So black strip out, put them in at the top, swipe down. Now it's going to ask you what pump you want. So we're after 2 for petrol, so 2, enter. Go to pump and take fuel. Well, okay then. Alright, so the left side here is the unleaded, which is also number 2. Similar to a car, just going to take the nozzle off and then we're going to run outside. Nozzle in, and then just filling it up as you would a car. So yeah, a gentle squeeze on the trigger. Once it gets towards the top, it will click off. Alright, so this one wasn't very thirsty, but all in all, that's how you fill them up. Fuel cap's back on, and we chuck him back on the hook. Whew, 4.5 litres thirsty. Don't forget your fuel card, guys. Most of these are attached to the keys at the moment, but that could change in the future. Keys back in, obviously. Say if you did have the 2-stroke, you'd fill it up as normal, and then you'd actually open up the cover. I think with most of our 2-strokes, the oil's on the right hand side of the machine. So just have a look. Sometimes you can do maybe a tank of fuel to maybe like 2 tanks of fuel to 1 tank of oil. If the oil was running low and you had to fill it up, there's a little button here, which is a timer. Push that to on, and you can actually hear the system running, and it's just kind of like a little pump for the oil. You'd then run in here, grab this little gun, put that in your oil tank and squeeze it, and the oil should come out. If you're filling it and it stops on you, I believe it's on a 30-second timer, so you might actually have to just press that button again. Yeah, like I said, guys, if your fuel cards are missing, just let us know and we'll get some new ones ordered. Cool. Alright, so here we are with the Skidoo Expedition Rotax 600, made by BRP. I believe that stands for Bogong River Power Sports. Awesome. Yeah, so we just got to this machine. It's an icy morning. What's the first thing we're going to do?
Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is just double check that these skids aren't stuck to the ice. They will stick quite easily and you won't be able to go anywhere. So you want to give them a little bit of a move around, lift them up, get both of them, turn them around. Just, you know, loosen them off the ice.
Yep.
Another thing that can get stuck in the morning is your track. Come around and have a look at your track. Make sure everything looks all good. And then you can even jump on the sled and give it a bit of a rock to loosen it up. Cool, so that should loosen it up and you should be good to go. You also want to make sure there's no ice on your runners here, so you're not slipping about with your feet. It can be quite dangerous. So clear that off, grab an ice hammer, just smack it up, get rid of it.
Yep.
Clear that off, and you should be good to go. First thing you want to do is jump on. Make sure your stop's popped. This little button here is your stop, so make sure you pop that up. Then you've got a start button on most sleds. This one here is missing the actual button, but it still works. So you just hold that in, let go once it's powered up. And if you ever want to stop the sled, go back over here and just hit this. She'll turn off. Cool. Over here, you'll find most sleds have got a little blue button. That's your high beams. You can chuck them on if you need. Most of the time you won't. Generally you're pretty good with the standard lights. You've got your little heat warmers for your handles and throttle. Yep. They come in handy. Yep. Definitely on your de-icing mornings. Yep. Your brake, located on the left-hand side, like a motorbike. Just pull that in. These things have a handbrake. If you're stopped on a hill, somewhere where you might sort of think the sled can get away from you, you want to pull in your brake, and then just put the handbrake on, push this thing out, and it'll keep the brake on. To release that, you just push in this, and you're off.
Clever. Another thing to check in the morning, guys, if it's been icy, come on over. If, say, your stop button was left up overnight, just make sure it'll go down, because they can freeze up, and then if you needed to kill it in an emergency, you can't pop it down. Other thing to check for, guys, is that your throttle's not frozen. Sometimes what'll happen, this cable in here can get a bit icy and frozen. If, say, you jumped on while it was started and you gave it a throttle and it didn't release back, it's just going to take off on you. So when you jump on, just make sure that your throttle will freely go back to its position. Same thing with the brakes. You want to give your brakes a bit of a pump and just make sure that they're not frozen, because yeah, if you need them and they're not working, well, that's not ideal. Cool. Anything else? I guess with icy mornings too, sometimes your keys might not go in. So yeah, if you can't get the key in, just get your mouth around it, give it a bit of blowy, sucky, and hopefully you'll be able to get your keys in then.
Alright, so on this particular sled here, every sled we have is a little different. This one we've got here, your reverse is located on the right hand panel here. It's just a little bit of a pullback, pull that down, and then you're in reverse. If you're going to throttle, you're going to end up going backwards. Go back into forward, you just want to push that back in, and then you're good to go. These can be quite different on all of our sleds. Some of the newer ones have a gear selector up here, some of the older ones have one on the left hand side, but as I said, they're all different. We'll try and cover that for you guys.
Yep. And just another thing to note, guys, say if Harrow was standing up and he was in reverse and he's hit reverse too quick, what can happen is his pelvis will thrust forward. He can actually lean on that lever, and then before you know it, the sled takes off backwards, and he's off balance, out of weight shift and whatnot, and it's not going to end well. So keep an eye on that, guys.
Here we have another sled of ours, which is
the Skidoo Scandic White Track.
Different to the one we spoke about before, but like I said, here's the gear selector. A little different to just pulling it out down on the side panel. So in order to get into reverse for this one, we're in first at the moment. What you do is you push the gear stick in, and then you can come down to neutral, keep the gear stick in, and down into reverse. Now when we are in reverse, you want to take it real easy. If you throttle on too hard, in reverse you got quite an easy tipping point. If you're turning in reverse, you want to take it nice and slow, don't go too quick, and just make sure you are looking over your shoulders to not run into anything. Make sure it's all clear, and then once you're happy, you reverse, just pop this gear stick back up into first, and off you go. Alright guys, here we have our third sled selector for gears. This one's a little different like the other ones we explained earlier. Here we have a stick on the left hand side of the sled. It's missing the handle that's usually on top of there, but that doesn't matter, it still functions properly. Sitting up straight as it is now, this is in neutral. If we want to go into first, we just chuck it to the left. We're now in first gear. If we want to go into second gear, which we don't usually use too often, just go back to the neutral and then over to the right. That's second gear. And now if we want to reverse anywhere, what you do is push in the gear selector and push it to the left, and that'll be reverse. You always want to make sure you're taking it out of reverse before you stop the sled or move anywhere else.
Yeah.
So for anyone else that might jump on it, they don't just take off in reverse and fall off or do some damage.
Cool.
So yeah, that's our third gear selector.
So when we need to traverse across something that's off camber, it's really important that we shift our weight as far as we can off the side of a snowmobile. To do that, it's not just like leaning on a motorbike where you do this. You're hanging all the way off the side. You've got this little middle handle here that you can hang on to get your weight right over. If you do start to roll, you need to be on the power, turning downhill. Don't try and fight it, just go with it.
Alright guys, so where possible, what we're going to do, say if you are going up a hill, similar to this one, where you can avoid actually turning against the hill. So if you can go straight up or down, that's preferable as opposed to turning on a hill. If say you are traveling up a hill and all of a sudden you're running out of speed, you may have to maneuver yourself around. So just make sure you've got enough speed before you actually decide that you need to do that, and then you don't have enough speed, which isn't ideal. So guys, when traveling down a hill, if you start to hear a bit of a whirring sound coming from the motor, you just need to give it a bit of a throttle. So throttle out. If you still need to stop during this time, try and just feather the brakes, so just give them a light tap. You don't want to be holding your brakes on because you'll lock your track and you'll actually lose a lot of traction and start to fishtail.
So you want to sort of manage your speed when it's icy. Use the throttle. You can brake using the throttle just by tapping it here and there.
Yep.
But just manage your braking on the icy surfaces.
Yeah,
for sure.
and just give it a few taps on the brakes.
Yeah. Cool.
And like Harrow said there, guys, I think the main thing is manage your speed. Less speed is good. Once you've got more speed, trying to handle that, it's a lot harder than if you're at a lower speed. We're never in a rush to get anywhere. So
just take it slow, play it
slow.
safe.
Yep.
It's the key thing.
Yep. And if it's too icy, guys, if you're asked to go somewhere and you feel unsafe, say something.
Yeah.
If you don't need to go down it, then don't go down it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's always another way around, that's for sure.
Exactly right. Alright guys, so there's a few spots that we try to stick to. This here is one of them, so try and head up and around the top wind fence and don't cut through that gap just there. Also when arriving at Feck's top, you want to stick to the right hand side of that net, and we're going to park up there. Also keep in mind that if it is a windy day, you might have to park with your sled turned around, facing into the north, really dependent on which direction the wind's coming from. Also, when it comes to driving around the helipad, we're going to head to the left and around the windsock. Don't cut across to get to towers or drovers, always head around. Also take note guys, if there is a helicopter coming into land or take off, just wait until the helicopter's powered down its engine. Don't drive around the back while it's taking off or landing. Alright guys, so we've just pulled up and it's what are we, almost 9 o'clock, and the keep left sign still hasn't been put out. So just find a spot in the middle of the track and just chuck it out. Generally the keep left signs are put kind of like on the rise of a hill, like a crest, and it's just so that we avoid head-on collisions with snowmobiles. So during the day we try to avoid driving to Feck's bottom. If you do have to, there is the East Link Trail, so for the top of it, stay as close to the wind fence as possible. Then you go on a duck under this rope here and continue on. During high snow they do extend it, the East Link Trail up to Big Reds. However, that's really dependent on the snow, so most of the time you'll have to stick next to wombats, so keep it slow and watch out for other skiers.
here to Castle Top. We want to go to Summit Top, we head to the right here. Over there is an old lift tower. You'll see that in the dark. It's more of a easy thing to see so you know where you are. So you basically want to be left of that to go to Castle and right of that to go to Summit.
Alright guys, so one thing that can happen in windy conditions is that we lose the windscreens. You know, they're usually pretty durable, but you get a bit of wind behind it and they're gone. So say you know, it's a super windy day and I've gone to park a sled somewhere. At the moment I can feel that the wind's coming from this direction here. So I'd actually park the sled so that it's facing into the wind. So yeah, park like that. That way all the wind's hitting the front. It's not catching in it like a big windsock and we're not going to lose the windscreen. Alright guys, so when it comes to hooking up a trailer, you're going to back up as far as you can, and if you've got a second person it can be quite helpful. Generally the trailers aren't overly heavy, but where we can we try and avoid a bit of manual handling. So say you've got a second person, get them to hold the tow hitch up, and then that way the person driving the sled can kind of see where they need to go. Once you get it close, you're going to bring it in. This lever is going to lift up and then you're going to push it down. There'll be a little pin on this side, so pull the pin out as you push down this main one, and then the pin will slide into there somehow. Once you get the pin in guys, flick it around so that it sits here, and then that'll stop it from pulling out. Really important too guys, when you do use a trailer, make sure that you hook it on. It's not overly common, but sometimes these hitches can fail, and the last thing you want is a runaway trailer, especially if it's loaded with stuff, you know, shooting down Summit or whatever. If it's been powdery guys, and say you've finished with your trailer and you're taking it off, try and leave it so that this bit sits down, because otherwise what will happen, snow will fall into this groove here, and then it's a pain in the ass to try and get the trailer onto anything else. So if you get snow stuck in there, grab your Leatherman or a stick or whatever and just try and get it out. When it comes to towing, just take it easy. The trailers are usually pretty good, they just kind of follow around. But yeah, just take it easy because you will have additional weight and it can kind of throw around the controls of the sled. So yeah, I think that's about it. Another thing to note guys, when you are towing, especially if you've got a load or someone on the back, don't head up your normal sled route. Usually head up Broadway, and then you can jump onto Wombats and go up that way. If you try and go in between the wind fences and then straight up to Rudy's, you'll probably bog the trailer, you'll wreck the condition of the track. Yeah, and it's not good. So if you load it up guys, just take the long way around. If you do find that you need a reverse, just take it easy, go slow obviously. The trailers can be quite easy to jackknife, so try not to do that. Another thing to note guys, if it's coming into the season or it's end of season and you've got low snow conditions, take it easy, especially when driving across dirt. Go really slow, because what can happen is that the ice skegs under the front skis can rip out, as well as sharp rocks can puncture the track. So if you ever have to drive off dirt, just crawl over it guys. With grooming in the morning, it's our product that we're selling to the guests, so where possible avoid just driving all willy-nilly over the ski slope. Alright guys, so that's Snowmobiles in a nutshell. Obviously there's a lot that we probably didn't cover, there's heaps, and it will take a while to learn guys. Just because you got your sled license doesn't mean you're the best driver out there. Take it easy guys. Just know that accidents do happen. If you do roll a sled or you drive into something, let us know. That way, we can get it fixed, because yeah, we want the fleet to be running well and we don't want to cause a hazard to someone else. So
yeah, I think time on the sleds is the main thing. Just practice. The more you do it, the better you'll be, and you'll start to understand the terrain a little more. Yeah,
I think that's about it. Happy sledding.
Enjoy guys, stay safe.